Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, and today we are talking about helmets. Why helmets? Well, Mr. K and I decided to rearrange our area for the gear, so we found out how much gear we have. And I wanted to talk about helmets before we did that. Just a funny coincidence that we fixed up everything. And as you can tell, I'm here at Metrotown, and no, they don't sell helmets, so I'm not here to buy a new helmet. I just went to sell off an item that I no longer need, and Metrotown is a nice, simple place to go and meet up. So my question to you all is, how many helmets have you owned and how long have you been riding? This is the question. Now the reason this is the question is because I was going through how many helmets that I've owned since I started riding. And as you guys know, we've been riding for about 4 years now, and I counted out 6 helmets. I couldn't believe I actually have owned 6 different helmets in 4 years. Just in 4 years, guys. Now, to me that seems like a lot. I don't know if it is, but you guys will let me know if it is, of course, because you guys are wonderful and friendly that way to say, nah, you're still doing good. 6 isn't that much for 4 years. Or you guys will tell me, oh my gosh, how come you have so many helmets in such a short period of time? Well, I know the first helmet I had in such a short period of time was because it was sized wrong. And that was because they just told me, put your helmet on your head, and as long as your cheeks feel tight, you're good, like you're chipmunking. And I'm like, okay, they feel tight, it must be right. Found out, no, I had the wrong side helmet. Not by 1 size, by 2 sizes. That was kind of one of those, yeah, kind of moments. So that one didn't really last too long. Surprisingly enough, though, it lasted through my course. I don't know how I passed my skills course using a helmet that was too big for my head, but somehow I did it, so I'm actually kind of proud of myself for that one. I know that's not really a thing to be proud of, like, I passed a skills test and I don't even have the right size helmet on. It's kind of like, am I safe to be out on the road? I don't know about that. The first 3 helmets I owned were HJCs. One was the wrong size. The other one was the correct size that myself and Mr. K got the correct size on the helmets. So we said, okay, well, let's get a somewhat neat little design, because we both had pretty plain helmets at the beginning, which makes sense if you ask me, because you're new. What do you know? You know nothing, because, well, you're new. Then after that one, it's like, ooh, I want to upgrade to this helmet because it looks cooler, because it's got a nice design on it. Okay, go ahead. Yay, got the helmet, everything was good. Then we ended up getting a showy helmet. That HJC ended up going to one of our lovely subscribers, and hopefully she's still using the helmet. I hope. Please tell me you're still using the helmet. Please tell me you're still riding pillion and using the helmet. You know who you are. You can tell me. I'm not going to say any names, Sam. I'm not going to say any names, Sam. But, yeah, so then ended up with the showy. And, okay, so the showy, in all fairness, is pretty decently light, and it's supposed to have better airflow. I personally didn't find it to have better airflow, but I don't know, maybe I'm just too picky, or maybe I have too much hair on the top of my head. I don't know. Then we went over to the Voss helmets, and the Voss helmets were kind of neat because they're so light. Mind you, it's not exactly the helmet that I would feel the most comfortablest. Yeah, that's a word. Comfortable in, the most comfortable in on the highway. Now, I'm not saying it's not good for the highway. It's just something that I personally don't feel as secure in the highway. I'm sure some people do, and that's good. I'm glad. I think everybody has the right to make their own decisions of what kind of helmets they like and what they like to use. And it's all about your comfort at the end of the day. It doesn't matter what I use. It doesn't matter what Mr. K uses. It's just like riding the bike. It doesn't matter what any of us have. It all matters how you guys feel. Do you feel comfortable with your helmet? That is all that matters. Then this year we upgraded again. My excuse was, well, new bike, so new helmet. I don't know what Mr. K's excuse was. That was my excuse, and it is currently the AGV. And I really like the little extra color it's got to it. It's fun. It's a fun little helmet. The only thing I miss is the last 2 helmets? Yeah, the last 2 helmets before the one I'm wearing right now all had the lovely easy clips. So I kind of miss the easy clips because it was so much nicer than the D-ring and having to fiddle around, snap it in. This was just like, it's on, it's off. You know, it didn't matter if I had my gloves on. It didn't matter if I didn't have my gloves on. It was just like really easy. So it's like one of those things you're like going down, you're like, oh no, I forgot to, for some reason, strap my head inside my helmet. You were just like, red light, stop sign, whatever, and put it back together. No problem. Now the problem is with the D-ring, as all of you should know, is that it's not always as easy to snap together, especially when you're wearing gloves. I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm not saying nobody does it. I'm just saying it's not as easy, which is why it's called an easy clip. Or at least that's my assumption here. So I do kind of miss the easy clip, but I really do like the design and the color of the helmet that I have currently, which is my AGV. And, you know, the only negative side that I have with majority of helmets, and I'm going to say this with majority because I find that a lot of helmets have this, is the silly, what's that thing called? Drop-down visor. The drop-down visor. I'm not a big fan of the drop-down visor. Now, the reason I'm not a big fan of the drop-down visor is because I never feel like when it drops down, it doesn't feel like it drops properly. In the sense of, I don't feel like it covers, like, it'll go to the nose, but it feels kind of weird when it goes to the nose, because it's not like, it's either going to hit the nose or it's just going to be above the nose, and I don't really see it to be very good at getting rid of debris and stuff like that. Whereas, having just the full having the full visor, even if I have it cracked open, fine, a little dust and stuff like that gets in. But it's not as bad as it is when it's the drop-down version. And this is my opinion, and of course you guys have the right to yours, and I'd like to know yours, because I always like to know you guys' opinion. Your opinion is interesting, and sometimes it's unique, or it gives me a different perspective I never thought of. Now, the problem with the drop-down visor, what would be actually good about the drop-down visor, not the problem, is that if I could get it clear, which I'm not sure if I actually saw that it exists, but if it did exist, it would actually be kind of neat, because at nighttime, I could just use the drop down instead of having to worry about changing out my tinted visor. Because obviously, as you guys know, because we've told you before, here in BC, at night, you're not allowed to have a drop down visor. I mean, you're not allowed. That's not what I meant to say, obviously. What I meant to say is you guys aren't allowed to have a tinted visor while you're riding at night. That is the words that I meant to say. For some reason, it turned into something else. I don't know why. That's not the problem. Anyways, like I was saying, I think it would be handy if I could get it untinted and then use it at nighttime so that I don't have to change out my visors. Because currently what I do is I have a clear pair of sunglasses, but they've got the clear lenses, but they're made from motorcycles, so they're actually very convenient, and they have the little foam padding and everything. It's like really fun and neat and cool, and it's like, ooh, motorcycle glasses. And I actually have used them before at night, especially after the eye surgery, because now not having the glasses, I don't have that extra layer of protection for my eyes, which of course I want, because I spent the money to get my eyes done, so I want to protect them. I think that makes sense, because it makes sense to me, so hopefully it makes sense to you guys. So if that was an option, it would actually be really nice to have it as an option. I'm not saying it's not an option, because I honestly have not looked into it enough to tell you guys whether I'm delusional or not. Because, you know, I may just be delusional and go, I don't know what's going on. And in reality, it's like staring me right in the face right there. Because I'm just, you know, a YouTuber. I don't need to know everything. That's why I have you guys. You guys get to tell me stuff that I need to know. Or at least that's what I like to believe, and some other people like to believe. And I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate the information that you guys give me. Just like I hope that you guys appreciate the information that myself and Mr. K give you when we have the information to give you. Why are you? Yeah, people like to do that when they're going around corners for some reason. I don't know why, but it's a fact of life. So again, I'd like to recap. I'm curious to how many helmets you've had and how long you've been riding. And I'm also curious to know what you guys think of drop-down visors. The other thing about the drop-down visor, of course, is it changes the rating apparently, because it can't be the EU rating or whatever. I really should know what the letters are, but at the top of my head, I cannot remember them, and that makes me a bad motorcyclist because I'm supposed to know these things. But, and I'm laughing at myself again, of course, because, me calling myself a bad motorcyclist, I'm hoping you guys are laughing at me too, because, silly Mrs. K. So, yeah, your opinion on the drop-down visors and how many motorcycle helmets have you had since you started riding, and, of course, how long have you been riding? Because without that, it doesn't really matter how many motorcycle helmets you have. You could say you have one, but you've only been riding for like 20 years, which, of course, begs a different question of, well, do you not change your helmet every 5 years like they suggest? But that's a different topic. My topic only has to do with, how many? Tell me. I don't want to feel so bad like going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I've had 6 and I've only been riding for 4 years. Because I kind of feel like that's not cool. But you guys will let me know if it's cool or not, because you guys always do, and you guys are cool for that. So with all that said, please don't forget to love, ride, and explore. And until next time, ta-ta. Yeah, we'll go ta-ta. Ride safe, everybody.